Did you know Molly Bloom's soliloquy in James Joyce's Ulysses stretches over 4,000 words without a single punctuation mark? This seemingly chaotic flow of thoughts offers an intimate glimpse into one of literature's most fascinating characters. Molly Bloom stands out due to Joyce's innovative narrative techniques and his remarkable depth. In Ulysses, Molly Bloom is the novel's emotional and psychological cornerstone. Through her unfiltered thoughts and candid reflections, Joyce crafts a character who exemplifies how human nature is three-dimensional. Her depiction prompts readers to reconsider traditional notions of femininity and fidelity. She's rich with contradictions and raw honesty, leaving a lasting impact on anyone who reads it. And by the novel's end, it's clear that Molly Bloom is the most compelling character in Ulysses. Her unique voice, inner life, and how she reflects the novel's themes are unforgettable. Let's explore why Molly Bloom remains a pivotal figure in literary history. Ulysses chronicles a single day in the life of Leopold Bloom, a Jewish advertising canvasser in Dublin. And set in June 16, 1904, the novel parallels Homer's The Odyssey, with Bloom as Odysseus, his wife Molly as Penelope, and Stephen Dedalus as Telemachus. The story weaves through the streets and minds of its characters, capturing their inner thoughts through Joyce's stream of consciousness technique. Ulysses was met with both acclaim and controversy upon its publication. Initially serialized in the American journal The Little Review from 1918 to 1920, it faced legal challenges due to its explicit content, culminating in a landmark obscenity trial. And despite the controversy, Sylvia Beach published the full novel in Paris in 1922, significantly impacting the literary world. Critics have hailed Ulysses as a masterpiece of modernist literature. T.S. Eliot praised it as the most important expression which the present age has found, while Virginia Woolf acknowledged the brilliance despite her mixed feelings about its style. The novel's experimental approach and rich intertextuality have influenced countless writers and scholars, solidifying its place as a cornerstone of 20th century literature. Joyce's stream of consciousness technique allows readers to peer directly into the characters' minds, experiencing their perceptions and emotions in real time. And in Molly Bloom's case, this technique offers a vivid and intimate portrayal of her inner life. Her thoughts flow without the interference of an external narrator, creating an authentic and immersive experience. The final chapter of Ulysses, often referred to as Penelope, is a highlight of modernist literature. This chapter is devoted to Molly Bloom's soliloquy, a continuous, unpunctuated stream of thoughts. And as she lies in bed with her husband Leopold, Molly reflects on her life, marriage, lovers, and hopes. Molly's soliloquy is significant for several reasons. First, it contrasts the preceding chapters, both in style and content. And where other chapters may be dense with literary references and stylistic experimentation, Molly's narrative is refreshingly candid and direct. This shift emphasizes her authentic voice and the importance of her perspective in the novel. Second, the soliloquy offers deep insights into Molly's character. Her thoughts reveal a woman who is unapologetically herself, full of passion, wit, and contradictions. She reflects on her infidelity, her love for Leopold, and her aspirations with an openness that is both shocking and endearing. And finally, the ending of Molly's soliloquy with her famous affirmation, "Yes, I said yes, I will, yes," captures her character's resilience and vitality. This powerful conclusion underscores her positive affirmation of life and provides a significant and fitting end to the novel. Molly's soliloquy transforms her from a peripheral character into the heart and soul of Ulysses, making her story one of the most memorable aspects of the novel. Molly Bloom's inner thoughts and desires, they reveal a woman of immense depth, coping with many emotions and reflections, and her soliloquy in the final chapter reveals her deepest longings and frustrations. She reflects on her past relationships, her love for music, her sexual desires with a candidness that is both startling and refreshing. She longs for emotional and physical intimacy, which she feels is lacking in her marriage to Leopold. Her thoughts frequently return to her affair with Blazes Boylan, expressing a mix of excitement and guilt. And this affair is an assertion of her autonomy and a response to her feelings of neglect. Additionally, Molly's reflections on her youth and beauty reveal a yearning for the freedom and passion she once enjoyed, highlighting her struggle with getting older. and her frustrations are equally vivid. Molly feels confined by the roles imposed on her as a wife and mother, and she resents the limitations placed on her ambitions and desires. Her reflections are tinged with a sense of loss and disappointment as she contemplates what could have been. And despite these frustrations, Molly's inner monologue also reveals her resilience and strength, showcasing a woman who refuses to be defined simply by her circumstances. She's clearly a character brimming with contradictions and paradoxes, making her more realistic and relatable. She is a devoted wife and passionate lover, embodying fidelity and infidelity simultaneously. And this duality is most evident in her thoughts about Leopold and Boylan. While she engages in an affair with Boylan, she also reflects on her deep, if complicated, love for Leopold, remembering tender moments and expressing a desire for reconciliation. Another contradiction lies in Molly's self-perception. She oscillates between confidence and insecurity, viewing herself as powerful and vulnerable. And at times she revels in her sexuality and beauty, recognizing the influence and attraction she holds. However, she also experiences moments of self-doubt and fear of aging, revealing a more vulnerable side. And this oscillation between self-assurance and insecurity makes her a well-rounded character who captures the human experience. Her attitudes towards social norms further illustrate her contradictory nature. She's both a conformist and a rebel, adhering to certain social conventions while simultaneously challenging others. She values her role as a mother, but feels stifled by domestic responsibilities. She enjoys the comforts of her home, yet dreams of escaping it. These contradictions highlight the internal conflicts that many individuals face, making Molly a relatable figure. Molly Bloom in Ulysses embodies several aspects of femininity, making her richly drawn. Joyce paints her as a picture of sensuality, motherhood, and independence, creating an enduring and provocative portrait. Her sensuality is a central element of her character. She embraces her sexuality openly and without shame, a trait that was groundbreaking for female characters at the time Joyce was writing. Her thoughts are filled with vivid memories of past lovers and fantasies, reflecting a healthy, unabashed sexual appetite. This aspect of her character challenges the traditional, more reserved portrayals of women in literature, presenting her as a fully realized individual with her own desires. As a mother, Molly also represents the nurturing side of womanhood. Though her relationship with her daughter Millie is not deeply explored in the novel, it is clear that Molly takes pride in her child's achievements and growth. She reflects on Millie with a mix of fondness and concern, showcasing the emotions of motherhood. And this duality highlights many women's balancing act between their personal desires and their caregiver roles. Independence is another key trait that defines Molly. Despite being married to Leopold, she maintains a strong sense of self and autonomy. While controversial, her affair with Blazes Boylan manifests her desire to assert control over her own life and choices. Her independent streak is evident in her thoughts about her past, her career as a singer, her future aspirations, and this independence challenges the traditional expectations of women's role within marriage and society, making her a revolutionary character for her time. Molly Bloom has been the subject of extensive feminist analysis, with many scholars viewing her as a character who challenges and subverts traditional gender roles. Her open expression of sensuality and her candid reflections on her life offer a counter-narrative to the passive, submissive female characters often found in early 20th century literature. One prominent feminist interpretation of Molly is that she represents the reclamation of female sexuality. By giving Molly an unfiltered and unapologetically honest voice, Joyce allows her to express thoughts and desires that were typically suppressed or ignored in literature. And this portrayal aligns with the feminist calls for greater representation and agency for women, making Molly a pioneering figure in this regard. And moreover, Molly's ability to balance her multiple roles as a wife, mother, and individual with her own desires reflects the nature of modern womanhood. Feminist scholars have pointed out that Molly's character illustrates the often conflicting demands placed on women and their ability to navigate and reconcile these demands. Her reflections on her life, filled with moments of joy, regret, and longing, ring with the experience of many women, making her a relatable and enduring character. And additionally, Molly's defiance of traditional marital expectations has been seen as a feminist statement. Her affair, rather than being depicted as purely scandalous, is portrayed as a form of self-assertion and resistance against a confining marriage. And this aspect of her character challenges the notion that women should remain faithful and submissive regardless of their own needs and happiness, advocating instead for personal fulfillment and autonomy. Now, the marriage between Molly and Leopold Bloom is one of Ulysses' most intricate and emotionally charged relationships. Their relationship is marked by a mix of estrangement and deep, albeit complicated, connection. Throughout the novel, it becomes evident that while they face significant challenges, an underlying bond still ties them together. Molly and Leopold's estrangement is palpable, though. They sleep in separate beds, and their communication is often strained. Leopold's introspective nature contrasts with Molly's more direct and sensual demeanor, leading to misunderstandings and emotional distance. And the loss of their son, Rudy, has cast a long shadow over their marriage, contributing to their mutual sense of grief and isolation. Despite these issues, both characters express moments of longing and affection for one another, hinting at a desire to bridge the gap between them. Leopold's reflections throughout the novel reveal a man deeply in love with his wife, despite his awareness of her infidelity. He recalls tender moments from their past, like when they first fell in love and an intimacy that they once shared. And Molly also reveals a mixture of frustration and affection towards Leopold in her soliloquy. She recalls their passionate early days and her admiration for his intelligence and kindness, indicating that their emotional connection, though strained, has not entirely vanished. Molly Bloom's character in Ulysses has deeply influenced literature, inspiring countless writers and shaping the portrayal of women in modern fiction. Her unfiltered stream of consciousness and candid exploration of sexuality broke new ground, paving the way for more complex and realistic female characters. One significant influence of Molly Bloom is seen in the development of interior monologue as a narrative device. Writers like Virginia Woolf and William Faulkner adopted and adapted Joyce's stream of consciousness technique to reveal their characters' minds. Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway and Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury both employ this method to explore the inner lives of their protagonists, reflecting the impact of Joyce's approach in character development. Molly's frankness about her sexuality also opened the doors for more explicit discussions of female desire in literature. Authors such as Erica Jong in Fear of Flying and Jeanette Winterson in Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit present female characters who are unapologetic about their sexual desires and experiences. And furthermore, Molly's complexity and contradictions have set a standard for three-dimensional female characters. Modern authors like Elena Ferrante in her Neapolitan novels and Zadie Smith in Swing Time create female protagonists who are similarly layered, showcasing strengths, vulnerabilities, and evolving identities. And Molly Bloom's impact extends beyond literature into various realms of popular culture. That 4,000-word soliloquy and distinct personality have inspired different media adaptations, homages, and references. In film, Molly's influence is evident in adaptations of Ulysses. Though interpretations vary, the 1967 film directed by Joseph Strick and the 2003 film Bloom attempt to capture the essence of her character on screen. Molly has also been referenced in television. For instance, in the show The Simpsons, the episode Homer versus Lisa and the Eighth Commandment, it includes a parody of Joyce's stream of consciousness style, nodding to Molly's soliloquy. And in music, Molly's spirit is invoked by artists exploring themes of female empowerment and independence. Singer-songwriter Kate Bush, known for her literary references, alludes to Ulysses in her song The Sensual World, which imagines a modern woman echoing Molly's final soliloquy. So Molly's characters even enter fashion and visual art, celebrating her boldness and individuality. For instance, fashion collections and art installations occasionally reference Molly's confident femininity and her role as a muse for avant-garde creativity. So, thanks to her enduring appeal and depth, Molly Bloom's character continues to captivate readers and scholars. Her soliloquy, one of the longest sentences in English literature, revolutionized the perception of women. Joyce breaks the mold of traditional female characters through her, offering a groundbreaking and deeply human portrayal, and her authenticity and raw honesty make Molly Bloom the best character in Ulysses and one of the most memorable figures in all of literature. If you enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Like, share, and subscribe. Your support means the world. And if you want some more on Ulysses, you try this one or this one, and there are even some more.